All right, so today I'm going to do a little bit of a teaching simulation. So today I'm going to talk to you about moral discussion. Um, so moral discussion is the topic of my honors thesis, and it's something that's very, very near and dear to my heart. But in order to understand moral discussion, we must first understand sort of the origins of where this idea came from. And so in order to understand the origins, there are a few terms that we must understand. So the first term is moral education. So what is moral education? Moral education is the way that students and people in the education system develop their morals and their values. So values such as respect, values such as perseverance or hardworking, those are all values that you acquire in school, and that process is called moral education. Now, moral education is conducted in a variety of different ways, and the way, like, let's say, for example, Hong Kong does it is that they do have a curriculum, and they say that teachers should try to incorporate these key values into their they try to incorporate these key values into their curriculum. And so just to list a few, they are similar to the ones that I said before. Perseverance, respect for others, responsibility, and national identity is one, but that one's particularly controversial. And so that's the way Hong Kong manages moral education. However, there are a number of different other ways to engage with moral education, and one of the ways is called moral discussion. Now, moral discussion is something that was first created by a psychologist slash thinker named Lawrence Kohlberg. Now, Lawrence Kohlberg was particularly interested in how people developed their morals, especially when it came to like moral dilemmas. So one particular moral dilemma that he would pose to students was there was a man and who was happily married with his wife. However, one day his wife got really, really sick, and he wanted to find a cure for the sickness, but the sickness costs a lot of money, and he was only able to pay for half the amount. And so what he did was he went and stole the cure. But the question to you, and this is where the sort of moral dilemmas come up, is whether you think this is right or not. And so after posing this question, he would encourage students to engage in moral discussions. And so the purpose of moral discussions was to help students sort of elevate their moral understanding. If they were operating, or if they had a moral understanding of like at a lower capacity, he would encourage them to, the use of moral discussion would be to encourage them to think at a sort of higher moral capacity. And so that was the purpose of the moral discussions. And so students would engage in a topic such as the one that I gave just now, and they will give like arguments for whether they think it was the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do, and there are certain rules to it as well, such as you weren't allowed to sort of attack someone personally, get like very truly emotionally involved to the point where you were insulting the other person, and other rules related to moral discussion. The way moral discussion is operated now, well, it takes place in many different forms, but honestly I think that it's very undeveloped right now, and that's why I'm writing my honors thesis on it. You should be concerned about moral discussion because in Hong Kong, our landscape is very, very polarized, and moral discussion can serve to sort of help us understand other parties better. So that's all I have to say about moral discussion. Thank you.